Welcome to our Polis training video. Today we're going to go over a smartphone application named Polis. We use this to record information from conversations you have with voters while block walking. It's simple, it's easy to use, and it can be used anywhere across the entire state. Unlike other campaigns, where you need to wait for someone to give you a list to block walk, by downloading Polis, you can start walking your neighborhood today without waiting. No matter where you are in the state, you can start using Polis to start talking to your neighbors today. Polis allows you to build a list near you by using your Android or Apple device, regardless of whether or not it's a phone or a tablet. It will always give you a list of 50 targeted doors near you. Before you download Polis, you're going to want to go to betofortexas.com/knock. All you have to do is enter in your information into the form so we can send you some helpful information on getting you started. Once you fill out all the information on this screen, you'll be taken to the Polis account creation screen. Here, enter your information again. Your email is going to be your username, and you'll also need to create a password, so please choose one that you'll be able to easily remember. After this, you'll receive a thank you message from Polis with links to download Polis on your respective app store. Once you download the app, go ahead and open it, and you'll be prompted to log in to Polis. Enter in the email that you specified when you created your account, as well as the password. If you forgot your password, don't worry. There is a button at the bottom of the screen that says Forgot Password, in which you can ask Polis to send you a reset, and they will email you a link in which you can reset your password. Once you log in, Polis is going to take you to this map screen with dots in it corresponding to the doors in your area. Some of these doors may have already been attempted by someone on the campaign. If you see dots that are red, green, or gray, that means someone from the campaign has already knocked on these doors. If you see dots that are blue, that means no one has yet attempted to contact these voters. In the event that you want to start knocking on doors at somewhere that's different than your current location, you have a couple of options. One, you can drag the map so that this center red pin is in the area in which you want Polis to reserve you door turf. Alternatively, you can enter in a specific address using the search bar at the top here. So let's say we're going to put us at the Austin campaign headquarters on Airport Boulevard. Polis will then take you directly to that location, and you can reserve doors near that turf, or near that address. By default, Polis displays what's called satellite view, which is this photographic bird's eye view kind of image of the area around you. If you'd like to change this to a more Google Maps style street map view, it's really easy to do so. So in order to do that, we're going to click this icon in the top right corner here that looks like two diamonds stacked on top of each other, which will bring up the map options screen. Here, we can switch between the default map, which is the Google Maps style street map, back to the satellite view. There's also an option here for add contact, which we'll go over in a second. Last, there's a toggle to hide contacted doors. So if we click that, it'll hide the doors that have already been attempted. For now, we're going to leave it on. In order to hide the map option screen, we're going to click that icon at the top again, which will shrink it back down. So now that we've gotten a little bit acquainted with the basic map functionality, we're ready to finally get started knocking on doors. In order to do so, we're going to confirm that we have our center red pin here in the area that we want Polis to reserve us doors near. And we're going to click this big gold button at the top that says Reserve Nearby Turf. We'll then see this assembling walk screen. And Polis is going to then have given us the 50 closest uncontacted doors to that location, and then display them on a list here. On this list, on the left-hand side, you'll see the street address of every door in your turf, And then on the right, you'll see icons for the number of people in that household, as well as their last names. If you click on one of these addresses, you'll be given a display of the people who reside at that address. And if you click on one of their names, you'll be brought to a screen with some information about that voter. Starting from the top, we have their full street address, their first and last name, their age, their gender, their phone number, their nearest early voting location. As we get closer to election day, that'll switch to their election day voting location, and you'll be able to tell because it won't have this EV loc at the beginning here. And then finally, whether or not they voted in 2016. We'll talk about why that's important in a minute. Last, we have these two icons at the bottom here that say unavailable and available. If you're unable to have a conversation with the voter, we're going to click the unavailable icon. And that's going to give us a list of reasons in which why to be able to record why we were unable to have that conversation. Far and away, the majority of the time, it's going to be because the voter wasn't home. But sometimes there will be other things that you need to mark down. Refused indicates that the voter was A, either not very nice and unwilling to have a conversation, or two, just simply not willing to answer your questions for whatever reason. Inaccessible means that you were not able to access the house, or the house has been demolished, or anything like that. Clicking this option will remove this household from our list, so please be very careful when doing so. If there's a gate and you think it might be unlocked next time someone comes by and they might be able to knock on that door, probably best to not click inaccessible unless you're absolutely sure that no one will ever be able to knock on that door. If the voter does not currently reside at that address, say they've moved, we'd want to click moved, and that'll mark that down in our system. If they speak a language other than English, we'll click other language. And if they're sadly deceased, we can indicate that as well. However, say we were able to have a conversation with the voter. In that case, we'd want to click available. Here, we'll have a series of questions that correspond with the script that the campaign has provided. First, we have our support Beto question, and here we'll want to mark down whether or not this person is a Beto supporter. So they're strong, lean, undecided, or lean Cruz, strong Cruz, other, or not voting. And if they are a strong or lean Beto supporter or undecided, we'll also have a number of additional questions that again correspond with the script. First, whether or not they're planning on voting early or voting on election day. They're not sure. So we'll mark that down. Whether or not they need a ride to the polls. And finally, whether or not they made a plan to vote. So that's in the script, the sections that talk about how they're going to get to the polls, or what time of day they're planning on voting, and so on and so forth. Let's say that we did. Last, we'll be asked to enter in the voter's email. And finally, their cell phone number, so that we can send them reminders once early voting and election day finally rolls around. One thing that's very important is that you mark a result for every person in a household, even if that's not home. If you don't do so, it could open up the possibility to that person having their door knocked multiple times in a short time frame, or shorter than we intended. So even if you can't speak to everybody, please make sure to mark a result for everyone in the household. If everyone is not home, or you knock on a door and no one answers, Polis has a really useful feature It allows you to mark everyone in the household as not home. And that's this button with a house with a line through it. So if you knock on a door, no one answers, you can click that and it'll mark everyone as not home right then and there. If you need to change a survey response, like say you clicked the wrong answer or for whatever reason, you can click on the address again, go back through the flow, and enter in the information as you intended to, as you meant to. Finally, we'll go and knock on all the doors on our list, and then we'll click the Finish This List button once we're done. Doing this will save your results to the database, so please make sure everything is entered in correctly before you do so. Click Yes, and then we'll be taken back to our main screen where we can reserve another set of doors to go knock on. Last, I want to show you a few other features that Polis supports. One is the Add New Contact button. So say you knock on someone's door, the person on your list had moved, but the person that now lives there is a Beto supporter. We still want to gather that person's information so we can send them reminders about voting. In order to do so, we click this icon at the top right here that's like a silhouette of a person in a bubble. And then we can enter in all of their relevant information. Be extra sure to double check their address. Polis will try to figure it out based on your location, but it's not always 100%, so good thing to keep an eye on. Okay, well, hopefully you have a little bit better of an understanding of how to use the Polis block walking app. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at organizing@betofortexas.com, and we will get those answered for you as soon as possible. Thanks so much for joining us today, and good luck out on doors.